Hi, today we are going to do a topic on potentiometer, and here we are going to perform an experiment. So potentiometer, as we have already discussed in the previous class, so it is a device which is used to measure the EMF of a cell, and this device is more sensitive over an voltmeter. And why it is more sensitive? That it does not draw any current from the cell. So one use of this potentiometer is to compare the EMF of two cells, right? So we shall begin with our experiment. First of all, I'll show you a circuit diagram with the help of which we will connect all the required apparatus, whatever we require in this experiment, and then I'll show you how to take the readings with the help of these apparatus. Now remember that potentiometer can be 1 wire potentiometer, 4 wire potentiometer, or 10 wire potentiometer. As you all know that the formula which we will be using is E is equals to KL. E is equals to KL, where K is the potential gradient. Now K is equals to E upon L. So if the L is more, K will be less. So K is potential gradient. So potential gradient, it means gradient. I've told you in class that potential gradient means word gradient means change in any physical quantity with respect to the length. So change in potential with respect to the length is potential gradient. So if L is more, as K is equals to V upon L. So if L is more, this potential gradient will be less, and in that case the potentiometer will be more sensitive, right? So if I use a 10 wire potentiometer, that would be more sensitive as compared to 1 wire potentiometer, and 4 wire potentiometer would be more sensitive as compared to 1 wire potentiometer. So let's begin. First of all, you see the circuit diagram, how we are going to connect this. So here you could see that the positive end of the battery eliminator or the power of source needs to be connected with one end of the potentiometer, and with this one end only the positive of these two cells whose EMF we have to measure needs to be connected to that point only. Now negative of these two cells will be connected with a key, two-way key, and from the key galvanometer, resistance box, and the other end will be connected. Now the negative of the battery eliminator will be connected to the negative of the ammeter, positive of the ammeter with a key, and then this will be connected with the rheostat, which will be connected to one end of the other end of the potentiometer. So this was the circuit diagram. Let me show you the connections there. So as you could see, the positive of this battery eliminator, this is the power supply, is connected to one end of the potentiometer. The positive of these two cells is connected to the same end. The negative of these two cells are connected to the key. One part of the key is connected to the galvanometer. The other part of the galvanometer is connected to the resistance box. This is the resistance box. And one end of this resistance box is connected to the jockey. This is the jockey. Then the negative is connected to the negative of the ammeter. Positive is connected to the key, and the other end of the connected key is connected to the rheostat, and then one end of the rheostat is connected to the other end of the potentiometer. So this was the whole circuit diagram. Now let's begin by taking some readings here. So the very first thing which you have to do is to switch it on. The power supply is at 2 volt. This key is already put up. All right. So what I am going to do, first of all, is to put any cell in the circuit. If I put any cell in the circuit, then first value, I am going to take the value of the current. So my least count of the ammeter is 0. My least count of the ammeter is 0.05, because the first 10 readings it is from 0 to 0.5. So the 10 readings, this 0.5 values divided among the 10 readings, 10 divisions. So the one division would be of 0.05. So whatever value of current I'll write the number of divisions. You can pay attention here. Suppose this is 12. The very first, right now that current is 12. So I'll write 12 into LC. LC is the least count. So that will give me the value. So I'll write 12 into LC, and we all know that LC is the least count of ammeter, which is 0.05 ampere. So that you can calculate. At this value of current, I am going to check the both sides deflection of the ammeter. So you could see the both sides of the deflection of the galvanometer. So you could see it is going to the one side, and if I touch it on the other side, it should go to the other side. So you could see the both sides of deflection is there. So now I'll take out a heavy resistance from this, like I'm taking out the 3000 resistance, and if I take out the 3000 resistance, I've tapped on this key. So this brings this E1 in the circuit. So E1, E2. So E1 is in the circuit because one way key is tapped. So this is in circuit, other cell is not in circuit. And then I have to find a balancing length at 3000 ohm. So this is the value at 3000 ohm. So I have to calculate a balancing length. So as you could see, I am touching here, it is going to the other side. I am touching there, it is going to the other side. I have to find a balancing length. So as you could see, this is the balancing length at which the galvanometer does not show any deflection. And let me tell you this value around to be 52.2. So it is around 52.2. So for E1 the balancing length is 52.2. Right? So the balancing length is 52.2. Now I'll bring E2 in the circuit. I'll bring E2 in the circuit. Again, I have to find the balancing length. You can take an idea that if it is 52.2, the other could be nearby it only. I'll check like this. It is coming around 56.2. So the other length is 56.2. So this is 12 into LC, E1 is 52.2, E2 is 56.2. Now I'll reduce the current by changing the resistance here. As you could see, I have reduced the current. Now the current is 10 reading. Earlier it was 12 divisions. Now it is 10 reading. So now LC will be 10 into, current will be 10 into LC. Again E1 I'll put in the circuit. E1 again I'll put in the circuit. And again I'll take out the null point. So this is the null point, which is coming out to be 41.9. So this is 41.9. Now this E2 I have to calculate. Again the balancing length would come nearby it only. So it is around 45.6. So this is coming 45.6. Now again we will decrease the current by slightly increasing the resistance. So now it is 9 divisions. So it is 9 divisions. So this will be 9 into LC. And again I'll tap the key here at E1. Now again I have to calculate the balancing length. So I could see that at this length there is no deflection in the galvanometer. So it is around 39.3. 39.3. 39.3. This is the value of actually L1 I shall write. L1 and this is L2. Length we are calculating, not E1 and E2, right? So L1 and L2. Now again E2 I have to do. So if I do E2, it is coming exactly at 39. So this is 39. And one more reading I will show you by increasing the resistance by changing this rheostat. So this reading would be for 7 division. It would be for 7 division. So this will be 7 into LC. LC is already 0.05. Now yeah, so this is the perfect length. So this is the point. Okay, little bit. Okay, this is the point at which, so it is 26.3. 26.3. 26.3. Again into, I'll plug this E2. So it is yeah. So it is 26.2. Okay, slightly less. 27.3. 27.3. Now we all know that E is equals to KL is the formula which we will use. So we will use for the first cell E1 is equals to K L1 and then E2 is equals to K L2. You can calculate the mean of these values and the mean of these values. So if I calculate the mean of these values, it would be 52.2 plus 41.9 plus 39.3 plus 26.3.
that would be equal to 159.7 159.7 divided by 4. So it is giving me 39.9. If I calculate the other one, 56.2, 56.2 plus 45.6 plus 39 plus 27.3. That will come 168. And if I divide this by 4, it will come 42.0. Okay, it is coming approximately 42. So if I divide this 39 point, because I have to divide these two, so if I divide these two, k will go off, and then E1 upon E2, I am comparing the ratios. The formula will be E1 upon E2 is equals to L1 upon L2. The mean value of L1 is 39.9 divided by 42. It will come 0.95. 0.95. Actually, the EMFs of these two cells which we are comparing is approximately 2 volt. But since we are using them, it must have reduced. So the answer should come somewhat like this only. But you know, in experimentation, we have answer in our range, in a particular range, and there is a possibility of some error also in this experiment. So therefore, we can accept our answer 0.95, and there must be an error of 15 to 20%. Right? Thank you.